This Monday edition of the program. I hope you had plenty of time to rest, to unwind, to recharge, to reboot and reinvigorate yourself for a brand new week. Well, today's the 10th of February and I am super excited to be here on the show with you. I had a fabulous weekend and just charged up to have intense conversation around things happening both nationally and locally with you today. And I'm sure it's been a great one, starting off with the morning crossfire show, and then we had what's happening in Abuja, the Sunnyside show, and now officially welcoming you to Hard Facts with yours truly, Kimberly. Call me Kim, the Oracle, the Digital Oracle, OTF, the Fellow, Ochanyawan, Madam Speaker, and I will say yes to them all, and I'll be here from now to 7ish, and we're going to have a fantastic time together. I'm so excited because we're having a guest join the roundtable, looking at the top 3 stories, the big 3 stories for today for the very first time. This analyst will help us look at some of those critical stories that some of you have been talking about. And his name is Mr. Chuks Oko. He joins us virtually. So it means you have to go check out Facebook and YouTube to get to see him. On Facebook, we're at Nigeria Info Abuja. On YouTube is at Nigeria Info Abuja. He's a political and social commentator and news reporter himself. He'll be helping us look at the stories. Mr. Oko, good afternoon and welcome to the Big 3 on Nigeria Info FM. Hello, sir. Your mic is muted.
Thank you, Kimberly.
Yes, thank you so much for making our time to join us. And I just want to assure you that you are clear and audible and we're ready to go on the stories. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you.
All right, so we'll get to start off with this talk coming from the National Assembly, talking about creating 31 new states. I'm a little curious to find out from you, sir, because, you know, a lot of people have been talking about it all through the weekend. What would it mean for Nigeria to have more states, given the fact that we have a lot of states that are not, in the opinion of so many people, not economically viable as we speak? A lot of states, when it comes to their internal generation and ability to even create jobs and pay or build infrastructure, they would heavily depend on what is coming from the center. Some will argue that we run a federal system that allows for this level of distribution, but a good number of the states can barely survive on their own. So creating new states, is it something we should take serious coming from the National Assembly, or might as well tell them to shelve that idea already and not distract from other important issues?
Yeah, Kimberly, the issue is that we behave sometimes, as one-directional people. When we hear something, we're not interested in hearing other sides. The National Assembly, that committee saddled with that creation, has come out to say, listen, we're not creating any 31 new states. We are misunderstood. In our report, we say people submitted requests. It does not translate to the fact that 31 new states are being created. In fact, somewhere along that report, they even went ahead to say that none of those agitations met the requirements for creation. So there are requirements for creation of states, and when they want to create states, they definitely will want people to go through that criteria, meet them first before discussions go on about creation of new states. So I can assure you, my dear sister, that nobody is creating 31 new states. It was just a misreading of the report of the committee on the review of the Constitution, headed by the Deputy Speaker.
All right. And it's reading and talking about the requirement, like you pointed out, the requirement for the amendment of some section of the Constitution to involve, 2/3, I read that. And the process of amending the Constitution, that's stated to seek that for state creation, proposing the creation of a new state, the Constitution demands stringent conditions that must be fulfilled before the process explained above. Section 8, subsection 1 states as follows: an act of the National Assembly for the purpose of creating a new state shall only be passed if A required A request supported by at least 2/3 majority of members representing the area demanding the creation of the state in each of the following. One, the Senate and House of Representatives, House of Assembly in respect of the area. The local government council in respect of the areas are received by the National Assembly. And a proposal for the creation of the state is thereafter approved in a referendum by at least 2/3 majority of the people of the area where the demand for creation of state originated. And then the result of the referendum is then approved by a simple majority of all the states of the Federation, supported by a simple majority of members of the House of Assembly. And then the proposal is approved by a resolution passed by 2/3 majority of the member of each House of the National Assembly. We know that no state has been created since Nigeria returned to democratic rule in 1999. But here's something I want to hear from Mr. Oko. Do we even need to contemplate this at this point in time? Is there an absolute need? I've heard people from the southeastern region who are clamoring and saying, based on regional distribution, that region is short compared to others and should have a state. Is it something that, in spite of whether it was a misreading or not, that we should consider in the near future?
Yeah, because we are in a hurry, to get Nigeria developed. It won't be a bad idea to consider it, but in doing it, we have to be very sad about it. Like the legal luminary Michael Zekobe said, if we are sincere, you first create one to balance the Southeast geopolitical zone, so that you now know that each zone has 6 states before you start thinking of topping. But having said that, there are some very glaring cases, of places that needs to be split into more than one state. If we have 40-something members, 40-something local governments in Kano, for instance, and then you have a state like Bayelsa with 8 local governments, then you begin to really tell yourself that something needs to be done about this state that has this number while the other number is there. You get the point? So, looking at it that way, yes, maybe for the Romantic peoples, but you also made a point earlier. Most of these states are finding it difficult to exist on their own. Most of them can't even pay salaries. Even they pay salaries, sometimes all the money is gone. And the IGR that should be supporting them, that should also dictate what they get from the federal government, is also quite low. So seeing it that way, one also wants to caution that before you create any new state, due diligence that should include a viability test should be carried out so that we are sure that we're not adding to our woes instead of solving our problem.
All right, so that we don't add to our woes, due diligence. So at least we have a bit of a clarification as to the creation of states. Nigerians can shelve that and look at other issues. Talking about other issues, you know how we get wrapped up in quite a lot that is going on in the political space. And one politician says something, we're taking side, interpreting messenger message and all of that. And sometimes you could have the political bickering also happen on social media. Well, Kayode Fayeme, former governor of Ekiti State, says that politicians bicker on social media to entertain their followers. Mr. Fayeme spoke at his 60th birthday Thanksgiving service, which held on Sunday at St. Martin's Catholic Church in Ekiti State. The former governor noted that despite political differences, Ekiti politicians are not enemies but remain committed to the progress of the state. He also expressed sincere gratitude, attributing his accomplishment to divine favor, and sent appreciation to quite a number of people. And then, what struck for a lot of people is the fact that he pointed out that in spite of the challenges one faces in politics, they enjoy a very cordial relationship. And he said one built on mutual love and mutual respect. So all these things you read on social media are just for your entertainment. That's not what happens behind the scene. Now, there are a lot of people who know this and says politicians keep Nigerians busy. And, they just generate talking point for us and make the headlines, take center stage, which deflect from governance and the real issue, distract from it quite a lot. But now that we have one who is telling us to our faces that is purely for entertainment reason, do you think it's enough to sway Nigerians from being, swept in that whole bickering tsunami that goes on every now and again. One person says something, the other person responds. I think it's enough for us to just take a step back and not dwell so much on what politicians are saying or doing and focus on governance.
Well, that will be to our detriment, definitely, if we just take it on face value like that. What the former governor could be saying, from my own point of view, is that some of them are theatrical, really. Some of them are meant to create confusion. Some of them are meant to entertain. But most of them, of course, are serious as they come across. Because if it's not theatrical, for instance, like he's saying, why are people killed sometimes? Why do we hurt ourselves in the process? So if it was just mere acting, mere playing, why not? We'll all be in for a very long ride, and we'll just tell ourselves, well, when they finish, they'll come back. But the truth of what he's saying eventually is that those who know what they are doing politically don't take those things to heart. For me, politics should be Man U and Man City playing, Arsenal and Liverpool playing. After the match, we'll now face our serious business. You know, we get to the pitch again, we support our club, we win, we lose, we get back to our houses, get back to our businesses, we are the same. You know, but some people actually take politics as a do or die affair. That is why we have people being killed, or people losing properties and all that. So it is not all play. I do know for sure that sometimes even those plays are staged to hoodwink make the public look away. But it's not all the time. Those are only when some ingenuity is needed to shift attention from what's going on. Yeah, but most of the time they mean what they're doing for real. We only hope that they will wake up and really realize that the next person is your brother. He only simply disagrees with you. And in any case, if all of us are in one party, what are we doing? You know, the politics won't be fun. Electing people won't be fun, because it means we just present a list of candidates and we clap for them, they take a bow, and they're in there. They will not even appreciate the fact that people were supposed to vote for them. So, but the variety makes the context sweeter and better for us, the electorate they are going to be governing or representing.
So you seem to think there's some substance to all of the bickering. We shouldn't just wave it away and think, okay, they're just entertaining us. There's a way to it. I know that you did mention that sometimes they get killed.
That's why I say that if we take it that way, we'll be making a very grave mistake. You know, the thing is to look at it properly and take it the pinch of salt. I've seen some very serious political dramas, but sometimes those things are done just to save a situation. You know, I've seen a lawmaker being accused of a certain wrongdoing by his colleagues, and the person who was supposed to be presiding, under an arrangement that had happened, it happened in the state assembly, not national. You know, under an arrangement that carried the chair as if he wanted to kill him. But that was all.
Hello? Oh dear. Okay, I think we kind of having a little connection challenge
More
with our
news and
guest. Let's go on a quick break and see if we can sort it out.
Hello, my name is Kimberly. I'm the host of Hard Facts, and I bring you the biggest stories driving conversation every weekday here on 95.1 Nigeria Info Hard Fact Show. I love to get your opinion and conjectures, but the facts you cannot dispute here on Hard Facts. Join me and let's talk.
feel free to call us up until we reestablish connection. If you want to touch on the two stories that we've looked at, call us up on 0700 951 0000, or you can call 0809 9930137. Just to let you know that we're live on Facebook and YouTube at Nigeria Info Abuja. Mohammed Wambai, I see you as usual. 2 days feel like a whole week without a roundtable. Boy, are you becoming a huge fan of the roundtable. Thank you so much, Mohammed Wambai. And he also went on to say we should balance the equation by first creating a new state in the southeast. Besides, no bill was even put forward on the floor for creating additional 31 states. This is just mere distraction, I tell you. Adako Lawrence says, well done, Madam Kim. Thank you very much. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, you're welcome. I greet you, sir. Go ahead.
Who inspired the current proposed creation agitation? It is for presidency. It is another political scheme to affect the political impression. But the more you look, the less you see is the Republic of Nigeria. Towards 2027. Can Mr. President be wiser, as I used to ask, than the rest of Nigeria? Can he make it to 2027 politically? That is the issue. And saying that politicians bicker just to entertain Nigeria, it is incorrect. Because if it is true, there will not be political vendetta between political godfather and political godson across the board. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Abubakar. I appreciate your take. Hello. We're still trying to establish connection with our guest. And I'll get to see if, all right, I think our guest is back online with us. Mr. Oko, we sincerely apologize for that. I think it happened from our end. We lost the network connection at one point in time. So let's continue from where we left off, if you're ready for us, sir.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, we can, but I would appreciate if you can turn your camera up. It's a bit sideways because a lot of people are what? Yeah, perfect. Okay. Yes, perfect now. Okay, so looking at that particular story where we left off, we'll just allow you to wrap up your thought on that if you haven't already. As we look at the political rivalry, you have said there's some substance to all of it. We shouldn't just take it lightly, just the way Mr. Fayemi said it, because sometimes we get to see deaths recorded, violence as a result of what was said. So it's not just mere entertainment. There is a lot to it. And if we were to even look at it from that aspect, perhaps it's to tell the politicians to stop entertaining us, because nobody needs that sort of entertainment. We need serious business at this point in time. Don't you agree, sir?
Sure, we need serious business because when you look at some of the things happening outside the country, you begin to really ask yourself, what if this is not happening, or what if this is happening to us? For instance, look at how everybody is trembling because Trump says this or Trump says that about America. If we had our onions, I mean, if had everything going for us the way it should in Nigeria, why should we be bothered about what is happening out there? In fact, we should be asking our people to come back home if everything was working the way it should. So let our politicians who are supposed to be fixing our country get real serious about fixing the country instead of chasing the shadows. So I agree that we have more serious issues on our hands we should focus on instead of attending the populace.
All right. Yes, we would take more phone calls in a bit as I have my guests back online. We're taking some calls when we lost connection with you. We'll take some more in a bit. But let's look at this story because it's one of the big stories coming in. And the Supreme Court has dismissed the suit filed by Lagos State Governor Similai Fubara seeking the removal seeking the removal of 27 members of the State House of Assembly over his defection from the People's Democratic Party to the All Progressive Congress. The court in a ruling delivered on Monday by Musa Mohammed struck out the case after Mr. Fubara's legal team, led by Yusuf Ali, a senior advocate of Nigeria, withdrew the appeal. The governor, in his notice of withdrawal, simply informed the panel of justices that event had overtaken the suit. The Rivers State House of Assembly and its Speaker, Martin, represented by Wole Olanikpekun, also his son, did not oppose the withdrawal. And following this, the Supreme Court struck out the suit and awarded 4 million naira in cost against Mr. Fubara to be paid to the House of Assembly and also the Speaker, Mr. Amaule, at this point in time. The 27 lawmakers are loyalists of the immediate past governor of the state and the incumbent minister of the FCT, Nyesom Wike, who has been locked in superiority battle with Governor Fubara. The judgment has put to rest issues surrounding the position of the 27 lawmakers who had been entangled in a prolonged legal and political battle with the governor. So addressing journalists after the ruling, Mr. Ken Njemanze also stated that the lawmakers can now fully assume their roles in the assembly. I'm a little curious to find out, Mr. Oko, from your perspective, what do you think happened, for this interesting turnaround on the part of Fubara and the conclusion of the court on this?
Yeah, Kimberly, I'm glad you called it interesting because I was going to say that it's a no victor, no vanquished kind of situation. Because if the governor, if their team said we are withdrawing this case, it simply means that a solution at the end of the day has been found to what's going on in Rivers. And everybody should be pleased that flex of muscles will stop. Because they had gone to court to say that these people are not existent. So if they, in their own wisdom, now said, we're withdrawing what we said, it will be overtaken by events. I want to believe that event that will be overtaken is maybe a peaceful negotiation. The president met with them again some few weeks back on the issue. And a lot of things, the governor presented his budget to 4 people, and the court said, no, it's a nullity. I mean, a house that has 31 members and you are presented to 4 members, what kind of mathematics will you ever do to make it fly as the 2/3 majority that the governor needs for the house to work? So if they have found the rhythm, that would be wonderful. It will save the people of Rivers a lot of headache and keep them off the negative news we've been hearing about
Indeed.
in the past few weeks. So one really hopes that it means they found a solution. It should be no victor, no vanquish kind of situation. Nobody should actually go rejoicing. The lawmakers should settle down to their business and see how they can agree with the governor. Unfortunately, in this country, if you want to do strictly your own business of, let's say, yes, our legislator will do as we like, and governor, there will be chaos everywhere. So they should find a way of working with the governor. If it means validating some of the things the court say are null and void, they can do it for him. Most of the time, it's just a voice vote, a motion and a voice vote. So I really will be happy if this ends, if this signals the end of hostilities in Rivers. That will be very good for the people of Rivers State.
Sometimes they say if it's too good to be true, it just might be too good to be true because they've been entangled in this for so long that, I don't know, there's some bit of cautious optimism from my end as to, all right, too early in the day to think it's all peace, going to be peace and quiet just because the governor decided, you know what, let's just withdraw from this and allow things move. We know that the president had tried to intervene at one point, particularly between the governor and his principal, the former governor, who is the minister of the FCT at this point in time, and then tried to douse the tension based on the lot that's been going on in the state. But he persisted. I don't know. I'm a little cautious, actually, to think these will just translate to peace automatically. It just sounds very simplistic. And given Nigeria and how things unravel in this country, one is not going to fall for this.
No, you also don't know what he probably been doing behind the scene. Because if I were the governor, sincerely, even while all this noise is going on, I'll be lobbying those 27 people, or at least a fraction of them that will give me what I want. Because it's just impossible to govern a state with 4 lawmakers. It is not possible. And the fact that the House of Reps that shall have had an oversight function over them is also not doing anything. Look at this, is stretching to how many months, how many years that this is going on. You know, otherwise, maybe under 6 months, there shall be an intervention from the federal house, you know, by making laws, so they're making the governor know that if he wants anything, he should approach them.
Yeah.
But it's not happening. Instead, he relies on those 4 people. You remember there's another case that's supposed to be, they'll be giving judgment in a day or 2 or thereabout on the local government elections he conducted. One can only hope, you know, that one is also not sent to the gutters, that they don't upturn it and all that. So those are the consequences of doing things without doing it properly.
Indeed.
This thing they're allowed to get to this point should not have been allowed. Even if the governor sees he's not winning from a weaker side, those other people are human beings. No matter the kind of oaths or whatever they took with the other man, it could have been possible if he was reaching out to them to also get them on their side. So one can only hope at the end of the day, what has happened is either he finally surreptitiously got them over to his side, or there's a real peace deal that has been brokered that they are working on
at this point in time. All right.
Yes.
Let's get to hear feedback from our listener, what they make of our conversation. And so if you can hear them clearly, please let me know once the call starts to come in. So call us up on 0700 951 0000 or 0809 5974869 or 0809 9930137. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Yeah, Madam, good afternoon. How are you?
I'm fine and well. Mr. Oko, can you hear this caller?
No, I can't.
Oh, dear. Okay, help us project and speak loud and see if we can relate to our guest.
Yeah, thank you. Kudos to our guest. My name is Ojo, the next president.
Go ahead, Ojo.
Yeah, I think for me, concerning the River State problem, for me, the end has not come. Even if the Supreme Court has thrown away the case against the 27 lawmaker, may I know it that at the end of the day, the governor is not going to win because he has no concrete evidence to show that, yes, those 27 lawmakers are deflected from PDP to APC. Because if you should go to APC register, even if they have anyone, you don't see their name there. So declaring him with their own man does not mean that they have changed. They only use it to play on his intelligence.
All
and
right.
they fall ship to it. So he should be ready for the next action from the State Assembly because he has really withheld their money for almost 2 years now. And it's not going to find it funny with them.
All right,
Thank
sir.
you.
Thank you very much. Let's try another caller and see if it will be better for our guest to hear. Hello.
Yeah, hello, good afternoon.
Welcome. Good afternoon.
Yeah, my name is KGB.
All right, KGB. Let me find out from our guest if he can hear you. Hold on, KGB.
Okay.
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Okay, KGB, go ahead.
I say everybody is entitled to his or her opinion. Usually they are like the left caller, even the analyst, he is not saying the truth and is not
What is your truth? He said he's beat. What is your own perspective?
Yes, but he's analyzing to himself, I'm not to us. That's what I'm trying to do. See, are you telling me, yes, he said it, that those ones, even since they are not animal, yes, they are not animal, but they behave like. Or can the court come and tell me that there's no law that the moment you vacate your seat, move to another, move to another party that your seat is vacated? That is what they did. And what the speaker is trying to tell us is that they are trying to maintain what they are, not being very objective, not being very good. They are trying to reenact number one,
All right,
number 4 being number 1. That's what exactly what they are saying. That we are it. We are me. So we are it.
All right. All right.
They just wanted to destroy River State. They just wanted to use the artists to with the soil budget.
Thank you very much. I think you've made your point, and that's your perspective. How you look at it doesn't translate to it being the fact or the truth, but your angle. Hello. Good afternoon. Hello, go ahead. Yes, go ahead.
Good afternoon.
Talk to us. What's your name?
Afternoon.
Go ahead.
My name is Adiola Victor from Edisa Lagi.
Go ahead.
These people who are proposing to create 31 states. In fact, I think that is not the priority now. The priority now is that Nigeria needs dividends of democracy. We just need simple things from them. Social amenities. Let them try as much as possible to help us reduce the price of food stuff. You see, we don't need what we call bicameralism. What we need is unicameralism. In fact, I want the House of Reps to be scrapped so that we have only one house, which is the House of Senate. You see, we have to cut costs.
But why would you choose the Senate over the Rep? The Reps are a bit more connected, even more to the grassroots than the Senate. If you want a unicameral legislature.
360 members, we don't need them. What we need is 3 senators to represent each state. That's what we need. Because we have to cut costs, all of us have to make sacrifices. These are the things, and we have to fight corruption. These are the things these people should help us to do and to implement or answer your report. That report, I always hammer on it. We have to implement it. Because a situation where our national budget, we are spending 70% or between 70% and 80% on the current expenditure. We cannot continue like this as a country. These are the things we need from the federal lawmakers. If they have run out of ideas, let them resign and go to the houses.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Mr. Oko, is there anything you want to add to what you've said so far?
Funny enough, I don't really hear the last two speakers.
Oh dear.
The last two callers.
Okay.
But if you give me a summary of what they say, we can take you.
Well, the previous caller was opposed to what you said. He was talking about being a case of a majority number being less than less number. I was trying to explain it that way. I didn't quite agree with your point that it's going to be no victor, no vanquish. That's not the end of it. He feels there's more to come from this point in time. And this last caller himself just has a general issue with how we're constituted, our parliament, that is, and seems to think we should be operating just one, the House of the Senate, just have the Senate and no House of Representative. There are too many pedestrian issues coming from there, in his opinion also.
Yeah, my reaction to the first person is that, you see, part of the troubles we have in this country are the cheerleaders, the guys who stand on the side and say, go on. He may beat him, knock him on the head. I'm giving him a tackle. You get the point. Now, the main actors, the guy who's inside the ring, says, I'm withdrawing this case. Is overtaken by events, which we are hoping is for the best. And somebody is telling you he has not ended. The person saying he has not ended, is he in the same room with them where they are discussing the issues of Rivers State and know that has not ended? What we are trying, what we should be doing is encouraging peace to be a River State and not pieces as we have presently, where nothing much is happening. The governor only tries to do what he can do through Muslim, not by the act of law. So we are hoping that for the fact that at the highest level of judiciary, they said we are withdrawing this case, is overtaken by events, unless they want to start a fresh suit from the grassroots, from the lowest court and start moving up there again. But otherwise, agreeing to withdraw that suit signifies that something major has happened behind the scene. And we're all cautiously hoping that it is for the best of the state. That is the key thing to note here. Nobody, well, we're not Fumara, we're not Wike, we're not the lawmakers, we're not the 27, we're not among the 4. We're also not among the learned silks that handle the matters to know what the terms of agreement that led to this withdrawal is. But we're saying cautiously that for the sake of our country, for the sake of development, we hope this is the end of it.
All right.
And the signals we are getting is making us believe that that might be.
All right.
The other issue about the composition of the legislature, well, we copied from America. Yes, and curiously, even most of their states also have the 2-chamber legislature.
All right. Another disruption there, but let's hear more calls. Hello. Good afternoon. Oops, sorry about that. Please keep the calls coming. 0700 951 0000. Hello.
Yeah, good afternoon, Kim.
Yes, good afternoon.
Thank you. My name is Daniel.
Talk to us, Daniel.
The issue of River State issue. I understand from my own, from what I've read so far, the governor withdraw the case that has been taken over by events. So the Supreme Court has no option than to strike out the case. I mean, that to dismiss the case. So that what that means is that, based on my own ordinary knowledge, is that they cannot judge over the case that these people have defeated. So it will not become a yardstick. So I think Supreme Court, our judiciary system are not doing justice to our constitution, because they don't want to decide on this issue that will become a reference point tomorrow. Now they don't want to delve into the politics of River State. They don't want to offend the governor. They don't want to offend the power that be at the federal level.
Yeah.
So they just leave it neutral. Now, as it stands now, there's no judgment that says that the 27 lawmakers are valid. There's no judgment in that aspect.
Okay.
So there's no judgment that says they are vacated. So the whole thing is just left neutral like that. So that is what I'm seeing in this case. And then, if we are sincere with ourselves, a lot of proposals have gone forth in this Nigeria issue and all of that. If we are sincere with ourselves, why can't we make this national assembly to be one?
All right.
Course. What are they doing?
All right.
Thank you so much.
It's quite interesting that people are now calling for us to cut costs by having one house in the National Assembly. Hello.
Hello, Kim. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Talk to us.
Tony from Waranta.
Tony, go ahead, sir.
I am for the retention of the 2 chambers. We copy from America. We should retain it. We need Senate. We need the House of Reps. But Senate should be reduced to 2 senators. America will
two senators per state.
State.
All right.
Kim, let me tell you, the justification is that the president has the whole country, one constituency. The governor, the whole state, one constituency. So Senate, half of the state should be constituency. So everything in Nigeria, we do based on sentiment and emotion. Because we based on common sense and that is the justification in America. What is the reason for having 3 senators?
All right.
No, it should be 2 senators.
All right.
And then the state should be the military credits from reduce the state to 24 from FCT 25. Reduce it. And it should be balanced.
So nobody should even be talking about increasing states by any.
No.
All right then.
India would 104 million has less in 28 provinces.
1.4 billion, you mean?
1.4 billion has 34 provinces only. So also Nigeria has so many states.
All right.
Just bringing everything to the table.
All right.
2 states of 24 plus FCT 25. That is compact.
Okay.
And name cabinet and prudent management.
All right. He's talking about prudent management, cutting it down. Kim, do you see what the U.S. president is doing, cutting down cost? Our own is to look for ways to spend more money. Imagine even thinking, the person who ever made the error of putting 31 states there, I'm very upset with him. Like, you got the entire country talking about this when it was nothing at all. This breaks my heart. The media should be more thorough so that we don't waste energy ventilating on non-issues at the end of the day. All right, Sam, I hear you. Thank you very much. Good afternoon, Nigeria Info. Finally, so happy for the people of Rivers State. I sincerely appreciate the governor of Rivers State for withdrawing this case from court. It's not a sign of weakness, but the sake of the people of Rivers State, for the sake of development, and above all, for the sake of peace. Bookman from Airport Road. Good afternoon to our guest. Thank him for joining our roundtable, and I hope that he gets to be featured more and more on the roundtable. We always love to hear a new perspective. All right, DJ, thank you very much, and our guests appreciate that. This Jankara judgment by the highest court in the land is a slap on our democracy. Travesty of justice struggles to hide a blatant truth. Rivers people are politically awakened. They watch, says the Patriot. All right, what out for what exactly? You seem to think there's a plot twist to all of this. Kim, even though it was just a proposal, but we need to have more states to balance the region. So they should be equally represented. Yaya, the head boy from Massacre. And good afternoon, Kim. Good afternoon to our guest. There's no need for creation of additional state. What is of importance is to balance the region with equal state by creating another state in the southeast. The present state we have, how effective have they been? Zach from Kuchinkau and Karo local government area. And Lagos State or Rivers State, Mike from Irawan. I don't understand you. I think it's not proper to say no state can stand on their own. Every state can stand gallantly. We have some state today doing mass wedding with state resources, mapping out salaries for certain clerics. Isn't it out of abundance? Nigeria has enough money to go around, says OGB1. Creating conduit for more corruption in the name of state. Those created before now cannot even pay the minimum wage, says Leo. And good afternoon to Kim and our guests. Nigerians were so funny the way we do things. Some Nigerians are quick in carrying fake news deliberately just to cause panic in people, creating 31 states. We all know that is not possible. I totally agree with former Ekiti State Governor. Some of these politicians are actually not enemies, but their supporters will always attack one another. Oludade Abiodun. Hafsat, we see you. Tokwe, thank you very much for joining the conversation. Let's give our guest some time to just give us his concluding thoughts on the comments so far. Well, let's read this one. The matter of Rivers State judgment being dismissed is a matter that borders on the 2024 budget, which has already elapsed on the 31st of December 2024. So continuing with it serves no purpose. But the matter of defection is still active before the court, and the court is yet to give its ruling. So there's nothing behind the scene, as the guest suggested. When judgment favors Fubara's democracy has been entrenched. When it doesn't, judiciary is corrupt. Bex from Kuje is having a good laugh at this point in time. I think Mr. Fayemi is just trying to play on the intelligence of Nigerians by saying the public or the political bickering or the public bickering of politicians is to entertain Nigerians. As a Nigerian, I do not find their antics in any way funny. And if for any reason I desire to be entertained, I will just get a ticket for any of such event. Mr. Fayemi should know that politicians are not in office to entertain, but to better the lot of citizenry. And I put it to him that politicians bicker to catch crews at the expense of Nigerians. Sam Oluyemi from Massacre. All right, over to you, Mr. Oko. Any thoughts as we start to wrap up the conversation with you?
Yeah, he's number one. I appeal to the gladiators in Rivers.
Hello, sir. Can I just take 30 seconds? Let's go on a very quick break. It's 30 seconds, and then we'll take your final thought.
Chai, my head, oh. Oga landlord, why you dey shake like ceiling fan?
Connection established.
Where I am appealing to the guys in Rivers the gladiators to shed their sword and get out to governing River State so that the people can really enjoy the democracy others are enjoying. Anyway, look at it. And it's one of our flagship states, one of the richest in the country. If they keep getting things wrong, it will be affecting everybody at the end of the day. So we do hope really that this ruling today could mean something very positive for them, and that it could also end all the hostilities. You know, that about our politicians, if you are entertaining us the way former Governor Fayemi said, please stop the entertainment and develop our country for us. We really want to be the blessed country God has given us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Indeed, the entertainment should end. Like someone said, he would rather get a ticket to a movie or something than to be entertained by a politician. Not so entertaining. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us on the Roundtable. We truly, truly do appreciate your time on the show with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Enjoy the rest of your day.
You too.
All right, then. So we'll run through a few more of the comments and then join the newsroom for the news at the top of the hour. Emmanuel from Lugbe says, if the government deems it necessary to create more 31 states in Nigeria, I'm happy to see it happen. When we have 12 states, nobody would have believed that we can manage up to 36 in Nigeria. So if adding 31 is possible for the government to do so, let the government go ahead. Let's see how it pans out. People saying creating more states will increase the cost of governance, pitting the government for the cost inherent. And I posit, people in government know more than me and you. So I think the government has the financial power to sustain more states. Who would have believed that we'll be able to buy fuel for over 1,000 naira and we're surviving it? In support of creating more. Okay, Emmanuel, at this point, I'm beginning to think it's more of... Okay, I would leave it at that. Our rulers know what to do to make our country grow, but they turn their backs for their personal reasons. Kopkian Shetnan Julius from AYA. I suggest we reduce the Senate to 4 geopolitical zones to bring them to 24 plus the FCT. Should be headed by a mayor elected by resident, Senate President, IGP, DIGP, and prudent government. We must rejig Nigeria to be modern, developed, progressive, prosperous, and world-class nation in 10 to 25 years. God bless Nigeria, says Ode Tony in Gwarimpa. And I think we need to take... Oh, dear. All right, let's take this call while we sort out something. Bivan is already seated for the news. Hello.
Yeah, good evening, ma.
Yes, you're welcome.
Yes, my name is Zakaria. Good evening to the listeners and the call as well.
Go ahead.
I want to take on what former Governor Fayemi said. You say it's high time for the voters to get active involved in selection of leadership. You see, a lot of people will take sentiment to what he said, but what he said is the reality. Most of these our leaders, at night they communicate. In the daytime they are together. When they want to do wedding or something or anniversary, you see them together laughing at each other.
All right, so we need to run for the news, sadly. But we'll get the opportunity. Thank you very much. Let's join Bivan for the news at the top of the hour.
Good evening and thank you for staying with 95.1 Nigeria Info to Abuja today. The second edition of 95.1 Nigeria Info FM Abuja's I Beg to Differ competitive debate will commence on the 24th of this month. Speaking ahead of the commencement, and the station's programs manager, Kimberly said the 2025 competition promises to be more educative, interesting and engaging. She urged secondary school students between the ages of 13 to 16 to visit the Nigeria Info FM Abuja website and register. Last year's edition was won by Omar Benedi XL of Government Science Secondary School, Piakasa. Students interested in the 2025 edition can visit Nigeria Info FM's website, www.nigeriainfo.fm, to register and compete for a chance to win ₦1 million. The new Controller General Nigeria's Correctional Services in the FCT, Olatumosun Ajibogun, has assured the command's personnel.
This is Nigeria Info.